Welcome to class. We're going to unlock a little more happiness in ourselves today, in the body, mind, and spirit. So we'll begin in a seated position, taking an anchor through our sits bone on the edge of a cushion or a chair, or even a block, just to raise up those hips and allow the pelvis to spill forward. Briefly, we'll be here seated. So let's take the hands to the thighs and come into the body, come into that awareness. Wherever we are right now, just allow whatever status and state your body's in right now to exist just as is. Feel free to close the eyes, to take that journey inward, paying attention and perhaps sending intention to some area of the body that you'd like to send some good sensations to, some healing. And then once you've noticed those places, see if you can send your awareness to those places that feel just great right now. And then you can shift your focus again to those places that need extra attention. And then balance that awareness with, again, shifting the focus to any area that feels really bright and positive. Through our movement and our breath. So the alchemy of yoga and that particular formula of yoga that brings us into this more joyful state, that unlocking. It's that we're matching our breath and our movement. That's part of it, right? So today, let's make sure that we can do that so that when we leave the mat, we can carry that breath and movement harmony together. Feel the shoulders drop away from the ears as you exhale. And as you inhale, feel that crown of the head growing a little taller, illuminating the spine. That brightness brought to your spine, to that amazing column connecting all of our nerves together. And then just gently open the eyes, and I'm just going to demonstrate bellows breath. So this is an activation breath when we're feeling a little low energy, maybe a little slow, and you want to pick that up. Bellows breath is a great way to do that. So you just take one hand to the belly just so you can feel this pumping action of the diaphragm when it happens. So you can just take normal breaths to just entry way to this, and you feel that inhaling into your hand and exhaling that pumping of your diaphragm upward. So when you inhale, take a big inhale, and as you exhale, pump the air through the nose repeatedly. And you're going to feel at the base of your ribs that diaphragm pumping up and down. So we can inhale in and pump your exhale out about 10 or 20 times. And let me explain again, just in case I didn't explain it well, which is entirely possible. Inhale into the hand, and as you exhale, you're going to take tiny inhales and exhales out through the nose. And then breathe in and out. It may cause you a little lightheadedness. If that does, you can go back to normal breath, but we're just activating warmth in the body, illuminating all of our stuck points. Inhale, try that again, pump, pump. Inhale big, exhale. Take the hand to the thigh and just notice the effect on the body. Maybe it's had an effect on the brain, the actual physical brain. Maybe it feels a little lighter. We're giving ourselves that brain boost. Exhale the shoulders away from the ears. So now that we've given ourselves that little brain boost, we're going to roll down to the floor and give our hearts that boost. So we're going to roll our blanket underneath for supported fish. Feel free to just roll, to fold the blanket in a high position, about 3/4 of the way up the mat. So your head will be above that part. So you want to make sure that the folds are clean, or you can even roll it if you like to lift the sternum and the chest a little higher. So you can customize. Some people like to really get into it and use a block underneath the shoulder blades, but that's can be pretty intense on the neck. If you have an extreme practice like that, go for it. But let's just take that blanket roll or blanket fold and then sit on those beautiful sits bones. Take the palms behind you to ease yourself down onto the mat. Allow the bottoms of the shoulder blades to meet the blanket or the roll. Take your hands underneath the skull, so support that brain. And as you lay down, support the head and just feel at the tips of the bottom of the shoulder blades, the edge of that blanket or roll. You'll feel the sternum, so that midpoint of our, we're in front of the heart, that lovely bone is going to be reaching up, and the shoulder sockets are rolling off of the blanket and onto the floor. So if your shoulder sockets are lifted up, then you need to take those feet, ground them at the bottom of the mat and just feel your footprints on the bottom and push down towards the bottom of the mat, and that'll slide your skin of the shoulder blades up towards the top of the mat. And as you exhale next time, see if you can feel that melting sensation of your shoulder sockets towards the earth. Back of the skull's cradled by the earth. Take the arms out long or into cactus, bending at the elbows, easing down. This should enhance your feeling of ease, of harmony, of easy breath. And if not, just shift around, get a little comfortable. If you don't want to do this, you can just come into a reclined position. Keep the knees bent so we can protect that lower back. And right away, you'll notice the front of the lungs increase their capacity to inhale. Let's do a 3-part breath. 1 into the belly, 2 into the ribs, 3 all the way up to the collarbones. And then 3-part exhale, feel the collarbones drop, the chest drops, and the belly. Try it again. Inhale, 1, the belly, 2, the ribs, 3, all the way up to the shoulders. We're giving ourselves an internal massage here. Exhale. 3-part breath. Feel everything drop. Feel free to continue this pace of 3-part breath. And as we come into this pose, kind of melting into the pose, match this sense of ease with something you can visualize that's very positive for you, whether this is a person you find that just brings you great joy, maybe a pet, or an environment, the environment you're in, a favorite place. Anything that you find turns up the corners of your mouth. So you feel like smiling a bit more when you sense that being or that place. Exhale it out. So as you inhale, invite in that visualization into your brain, connect it in. And then as you exhale, we'll just filter out what we don't need. Maybe there's something that you want to cleanse out, maybe something you've been holding on to that you don't need anymore. So just exhale it out. Whether that's tension in the body or something in the mind that's been whirling around. If you don't need it anymore, you can exhale it out. One more deep inhale, 3-part breath. And exhale. Roll over onto any side. Use that one hand to help you up and move the blanket out of the way. And we're going to come back down, just melt yourself down. And if you have a block handy, grab the block. Same pose with our feet hip width apart and the knees bent. Let's reach those arms down next to the body and see if we can touch the back of the heels. Great. Nice alignment, skull to sacrum. Take the block. Inhale the hips up, roll the spine up. Feel that sternum that we've already lifted, lifting towards the chin as you lift the hips. And then take that block, place it underneath the sacrum. And just place it down. And allow the arms to drape. So again, we're creating this openness now across the hips. So settle in here for a moment before we straighten our legs. Opening up more channels, kind of finding those places of stress along this wonderful spine. So we've gone down to the rib cage area with our fish pose. And now we're going to try this with our supported bridge to just release in the lower back and the hips. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Keep your foot in Tadasana, so your standing foot. And inhale again. Exhale, we'll straighten out the left leg. Feel that lifting of your pelvis, the weight lifted off of that lower back. On your next exhale, allow the feet to drift over to the side. Again, further opening through the pelvis here. You can feel free to take the fingertips to those hip bones pointing upwards, just bringing your awareness to that connection of our torso to the legs. Take the fingertips to the base of your ribs. And then just draw that line with your fingertips towards the pelvis along the abdominal muscles, tracing a line down to the top of the legs. So you're sensing that connection, that column of energy that can brighten up our connection to the legs. And then drop the hands. Bend the right knee and then the left. Inhale, just hug one knee towards right knee towards the face. Circle the ankle, one direction and then the other. Circle that knee just a little bit so we can get into the hip here while it's lifted. One direction with the knee. Follow your breath again. Tracing that line in the opposite direction. The hips are really a place that where you can unlock some things. They're very large connection in the body, a large joint, so lots of hidden places to heal, to hydrate, and to oxygenate. Inhale, exhale, drop that foot to the floor. Inhale the left knee towards the face, circle that ankle, the intricacies of our ankle. Moving down the body with our attention. And then we'll just circle that knee around in one direction, feeling that gliding through the hip socket. And then the other direction. Great. And let's take that footprint down to the floor with an exhale. Easily lift up the hips and remove that block. Very nice. Place the block over to the side. Bring the knees together and the feet hip wider than hip width apart towards the edges of your mat. Inhale the arms next to the ears, nice and long. So really reach those fingertips up. See if you can feel the skin of your side body next to the ribs, really stretching out. And then bring your thumbs to the elbow creases. And use your fingertips on the elbows to even create a little lift of the skin on the arms. Exhale, feel the earth beneath you. And then begin to trace a line along your left shin with your right knee towards the foot. And then back up again. So we're again bringing this entire waking energy into the body, awakening, motivating, all of those connections. Let's continue this path. Dynamic twist here. Notice sensations along the way, probably something along the outer thigh, lower back. Breathing a sense of ease of this movement. And then bring those forearms above the face, and we'll take the elbows side to side for our crazy legs. Oppositional forces here in harmony. And then we'll roll the head side to side. So this is our first neck range of our practice today. So just be soft on the neck. Roll the head side to side. Notice any areas of tension in your neck that need some love. And then let's warm up those eyes, and we'll follow our elbows with the eyes opposite of the head. Lovely. Feels great on this end. Hopefully yours too. Okay, slow that down. Allow the arms to drape next to the body. And just roll over onto one side and move ourselves up to a seated position. No need for the blanket. We're going to use a dynamic trip upwards. Feel free to take a kneeling position. If you want to adjust your kneeling, you can sit on a block or take a blanket behind your knees. Be here for just a moment. Take the fingertips beside you on the mat. And from here, lift yourself with an inhale, feeling the crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Exhale. Close the eyes for a moment, illuminate the spine again. Let's do that same scan with our breath. As you inhale, find places that need attention, maybe some sore points or tension. Exhale it out. Next inhale, attention to what feels great. Exhale it out. The next inhale, take a notice of something that's changed since we've been practicing this today. Maybe some different sensations in the body. Exhale it out. Great. And then open the eyes, flutter them open. Take the right ear toward right shoulder. Anchor through your left fingertips as you do that. Dropping and softening. As you inhale, next time, lift the left ear towards the sky. Exhale down, drop the right ear. And then take the hand of the right hand, just lift up, really keep that lift through the crown of the head. And exhale, trace that line to the left. So we're taking the left ear toward left shoulder. Anchoring through your right fingertips. And then lift the right ear towards the sky. And exhale down. Notice that extra lift and cleansing of that right side. Clearing all the channels today. Take the left hand, help yourself up. Notice the difference. Just turn the head left to right. Have you created millimeters of freedom in your neck, perhaps? Lift the arms up to the sky. Prayer position above the head, look up. Invite in whatever energy you need, come back. Face forward and then look down. And look up again. And then let's face the palms towards the front. Begin to separate the knees. We're coming into lion's pose, which is different. It's a kneeling pose. So keep those hips on the heels. And we're going to swipe our fingers in front of us and just reach, hinging at the hips. Just reach forward, using those strong abs to keep that long line of the spine. And just as if you're finger painting in front of you, bring those fingertips down to the earth. And then plant the palms as you keep that hip hinging. And take the fingertips before you. These are downward dog hands. So take that palm, spread the fingers. And now we're going to feel that anchor into the body by rolling the shoulders away from the ears and feeling those shoulder blades slide down the back. Inhale, deep into that belly, the chest, the shoulders. Exhale and anchor further by bringing the energy of the armpits towards the ribs as if you're squeezing a magazine under your arms, a rolled up magazine. Here you go. Everything's anchored in. Beautiful. Inhale. And as we exhale, we'll to look up and stick out the tongue and just do that lion's breath. Inhale deep into the belly. Exhale. Inhale again. Another lion's breath. Exhale. Great. On this next breath, just take a break here, and we're going to see if you can turn your fingertips in towards the knees. If this hurts your wrists, that's okay. We're just doing a gentle pressure on the hands so we can stretch out the wrists and the channels along the arms. Or you can, if you've done this before, you can take the fingertips in towards the body, but be careful of the pressure that you're placing on those hands. You can just stay lifted if you need to. Inhale. Into the belly, chest, and our shoulders. Exhale, lion's breath. Excellent. Roll yourself up easily to our vertical. And then we're going to take a transition to down dog. So come to that long part of the mat. Point forward. If you'd like to, in our tabletop here, you can just take a cat-cow on our way up. Inhale. Look at your knees. Take the world in a different view in a different direction. That helps the brain. Exhale out into cow. And now our other world upside down. We're going to take our downward dog. So hands forward a little bit with the fingertips pointing upward. Same energy we just practiced with that shoulders rolling away from the ears, feeling those latissimus dorsi next to the ribs, activating as you do that. Curl the toes under and then easily bring those hips up into down dog. And feel the length of the spine. We've already done a lot of oxygenating of that spine. So maybe you can really feel that head to tailbone connection more easily. Feel free to keep your knees bent here and pedal the feet. Bring this into the hamstrings, the back of the legs, as you support yourself with those hands, pushing away. So the lift is coming, not jamming into the wrist, but lifting diagonally towards the tailbone, towards those sits bones. Joyous spine here. Pedaling through the feet, lift into tiptoe, spread the toes, bring the hips towards Sorry, I meant bring the ribs towards the thighs. Inhale, feel that belly breathe into the thighs. Exhale, let's begin to lower the heels. And then bend the knees again as you walk the hands towards the feet. There we go. And let's let the head drop in this bent knee position with the feet hip width apart. Inhale. If you can inhale into a flat back with your fingertips on the mat, just that sense of floating, length of the spine, and then exhale, drop the head. So we're letting the brain release, letting some traction happen in the neck. This is great for the mood, is to look at things upside down. Notice that things look a little different. Inhale, fill the back body. Exhale. And then we're going to sweep the arms towards our chair, nice and strong. Imagine squeezing a block between your thighs, or if you like to do that, you can actually take the block between the thighs. And then sweep the arms behind the body. Allow the ribs to touch the thighs. Inhale, really reach those arms behind you, and then exhale, drop the fingertips towards the floor, then arms next to ears. And then we come off of the thighs with the ribs. And imagine squeezing that block. Feel those quads fire up. Knees behind the toes. One more big belly breath here. Ribs, shoulders, exhale. Slowly, slowly, inch by inch, make your way up to standing. Really make it slow so that we keep the brain soft and we don't create that dizziness. Drop the arms next to the body. Mountain pose. Here we are. Set up beautifully for our sequence. Inhale, shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, release. Let's roll the shoulders back with our breath. Noticing our hearts are more open. Breath has more ease. And before we go into our sequence, let's take a long side bend. Sweep the arms up towards the sky. Let's take clasping the fingers together above the head. So clasping the fingers here, palms up towards the sky. Feel the connection from your palms all the way down to the feet as you spread the toes. Quads still engaged as we place a nice foundation, inhaling up, exhaling, lean over to the right. Really soften on the right, but reach on the left. Inhale, trace that line up towards the clouds, and then exhale over to the left. Inhaling back up. Let's take another trip to the right. Exhale, side bend here. Take your gaze down towards the floor. You just feel that range in the neck. And then come on back up on an inhale, exhaling to the other side. Gaze down at the floor. And then up again. Neutral gaze. Back up, sweep the arms down. Now we're going to sweep the arms in front of us. And along with that sweeping, as if you're reaching forward, we're going to step forward into our warrior one. So keep the arms reaching long and find your stance in warrior one. You can keep the straight leg in the beginning, just reaching out, and find that front foot pointing towards the top of the mat, back foot angled about 30 degrees towards the outside. And now let's find our hips in space as we're reaching out, hugging something in the distance there, and square off our hips as much as possible. You want to make sure you keep that back knee safe, okay? So really press the feet together energetically. Inhale. Exhale, let's sweep those arms up as we drop the hips. So we're lengthening up even as we drop down. Step the back foot behind you. So just tiptoe, not so more or less tiptoe it back. Drop the hips and point your tailbone like an arrow down to our beautiful earth and reach those arms up to our amazing sky. And our column of the skull all the way to the spine, down to the tailbone, pointing that arrow down. Take the hands together in prayer position. Look up. Feel that strong base. And then gaze forward, clasp the hands together, and bring the clasped hands behind the skull, supporting our brain again here, a nice brain boost. Give a little lift, maybe a tiny millimeter of lift to that base of the skull. And then you can take the hands behind, cradling the back of the skull. If you can press that skull into the hands and press the hands into the skull very gently, you'll notice, do things wake up along those shoulder complex or along the spine just by that isometric energy, supporting the skull, and then release that gentle press. Just notice as you lift the arms again, feel a better sense of alignment here. Okay, drop the hands next to the body. And from here, take the hands to the hips. And we're going to tiptoe the left foot forward and step gently. We're going to come towards the front of the mat, bringing our feet into parallel. So keep your knees soft as you step, step, step. Don't slide because I don't want you to hurt your knees. Come on with the feet forward, parallel. And here we come into a beautiful goddess pose. So bring the heels in, turn the toes out, keep the knees in line with those. Hands on the hips, drop into a high squat here. Support the drop of the hips. Strong legs, energize those feet together. And as we take lion's breath, we're going to bring our hands up into our cactus. Come on up one more time. We're doing that bend down. And one more time up. Exhale. Energize through our breath. Inhale back up, and we're going to hinge forward, bringing our heads down low. Keep the hands on the top of the thighs as you take this flat back. And as you notice, the fingertips helping that skin of the thighs inward. You're really opening up possibilities there in the low back. Flat back, and then allow the hands to drop to the floor, fingertips nice and spider hands. And then folding at the hips, at that top of the thighs, we're going to drop the head, world upside down again. Walk the hands towards the feet so that they're not quite parallel, but just in front of the feet. Bend the elbows and support that feeling of traction through the neck as the head hangs down. So this has the same benefits as a very extreme headstand, which you don't have to do that full headstand to get some benefits of the brain below the heart. Inhale, exhale. This is also excellent for the immune system. Feel free to bring that lovely visualization back to your mind that we had earlier, something super positive. Feel that oxygenation happening. And if this is any pressure on you, you can come up into a flat back. And another moment here, anchoring through our feet. And then coming up to a flat back. Again, if any of you have, a reason not to be hanging out down low for very long, you can always come up to that flat back. And then take the hands to the top of the thighs again, supporting that hinge upward through an inhale. We'll take this to the other side, gently walking our feet. You want to softly bend the knees and step your feet one at a time over to our other side for warrior. Reaching the arms out long in that hugging position, but anchoring through the shoulders and squaring off the hips here. We're going to inhale up as we drop down through the hips. Prayer position above the head. That warrior feeling. Look up at the hands as you bring those feet together energetically, and then look forward. Clasp your fingers. Exhale them down to the base of the skull. Gentle lift here with your elbows out to the side. Inhale, exhale, feel that support and lift. And then now the gentle press of your skull, the back of the brain into those palms, and vice versa. Notice that enlivening of your muscles in the shoulders, the neck. Exhale down. And then lift the arms again. Exhale down. Arms next to the body, hands on the hips, and tiptoe forward with your right toes. Come back to center. And we're going to take a goddess here in the middle. Inhale. Exhale into goddess. Aligning the knees. Allow the hands to slide towards the knees. Bring the thumbs inside and the fingers outside of the thighs. And we're going to take a gentle twist here, bringing the left shoulder towards the right knee. Gaze turns over to the right. But you're strong in your foundation. Inhale back through center. Exhale, right shoulder toward left knee. One more time. Holding strong through those quads, inner thighs. Inhale again, exhale. And back to center, hinge at those hips, straighten the legs. We're going to go over to the other side again, this time to a high lunge. So the front foot is in exactly the same position, but the back toes are going to be curled under, and you straighten that back leg. Inhale, up, exhale. Let's just drop the hips. We're in our high lunge. Feeling again that energy through the feet. Inhale, the arms up to the sky. Clasp the hands together again. Palms toward the sky. Let's do a reach over towards our right side. So we're taking a long side bend here. Just feeling that stretch on the left side. And back to high lunge. Sweep the arms down to the hips. So again, noticing the hips, the dropping of the tailbone. Even with your hands on the hips, you can feel those lower abdominals engage. Reaching through that back heel. Beautiful. Great. Inhale, the arms above the head. Exhale, swan dive around that front foot. Low lunge. And if you want to bring your back knee down, or you can come into down dog. Stretching in down dog. We're just doing the cat cow in our all fours. And exhale, if you're in down dog, bring the knees down. And we're going to walk this tabletop over to the other side. Getting over to our other high lunge. Curl the toes under. And we're facing the other side of the mat. Down dog very briefly. Bend the knees. Bring the hands to the feet. Hang upside down again. Inhale into a flat back, whether your knees are bent or straight. Hinging at the hips, come up to standing again. Adjust your elevation. And then walk the left foot forward. And we're going to take that high lunge. So curl the back toes under and reach through that back hip, back heel. Drop the hips. And feel free to guide your hips down. So you really feel with your hands on the hips, that alignment of the hips, pointing the tailbone, and feel that stretch on the right side. Inhale the arms above the head, clasp the fingers, palms up, and then we'll just lean over to the left, just a little bit, feeling the stretch on the right side. Keep that long line from your hand on the right side to the back, right heel. And then back up again. Inhale, sweep the arms, swan dive around the front foot into a low lunge. Beautiful. And then bring that back knee down and down to all fours. Oh, beautiful. Walk your tabletop around to the front so that the long side of the mat is beside you. And here you can take a little brief break here and take a blanket underneath your knees, which I too recommend in gate pose because it's just an anchoring into those shins, and I want to protect your knees. So if you want to take the blanket underneath your shins with the kneecaps hanging off the edge there, great. So we got the long side of the mat beside us, and we're going to come up to a high kneeling position. And with our strength magnetized towards our strong center, we're going to keep that stability, hands on hips, and the right foot is going to come out to the side and anchor that right foot way long towards the edge of the mat. How stable can you keep yourself while you take that foot out there? Hands on hips. Feel the top of the thighs, so that connection, trying to keep those hips even as you reach and grow the spine out of that pelvis. Exhale, let's lean over to the to the right. Right hand traces a line down the right leg, feeling that anchoring on the left hip, and then the left hand reaches towards the sky, long arm, and then over towards the left ear. Feel that right foot, spread the toes, footprint in the sand. And then sweep it back up again. And keep the hands on the hips and magnetize as if you have a magnet on that right leg. Let's draw it in. Careful with that knee. There you go. Out to the other side. Left foot reaches out to the left edge of the mat. Gate pose. Up so we're allowing that spine as if it's a stem growing out of the lotus of the pelvis. Inhale, tall. Exhale, let's take that hand to the left thigh, top of the left thigh, lean over and reach the left hand towards the left foot, and then the right arm reaches towards the sky. Lean over to the left. Find the shin on the right side. Feel that anchor. And sweep back up. And bring that foot in and that knee together, wobbly, wobbly. And drop into your tabletop. And I'm going to turn around to show you. You can feel free to stay right there, but I just want to demonstrate from here. We're in a neutral all fours and cushioned right there. We're going to take a bird dog just to keep that ab strength going here. Neutral all fours, so the navel's hugging slightly towards the spine, and we're curling back the right toes, straightening out the right leg, lifting that right leg off the mat, and keeping even hips as we inhale the left arm next to left ear. Inhale, brighten it all up along the middle. Exhale, back down. Other side, straighten out the left leg, curl the toes under. Anchor into that midline, lift the leg off the mat. And the right arm next to right ear. Exhale brings you down. Other side, again, right leg, left arm. This time, hold the center, look forward. My dog is right there. Reach out for something imaginary, shaking someone's hand or petting your dog, in my case. Hi, doggy. And go off your center and then come back into the center. Notice you can always magnetize to that center when you need to. Back down, other side. Holding strong. Bring the gaze up and reach out. Pull yourself off your center. Pet something in the distance, shake a hand. Come back to the center and then down again. This time, straighten out the right leg, lift it up. Keep your hands down. You're just going to bend the knee, bring the sole of the foot towards the sky. See if you can, as you do this, keep those hips nice and even. And then just lift your knee up and your foot up just an inch and then down again. So we're just giving a nice glute strengthener here as we lift. So you're going to keep the hips pretty even here, but the knee is just lifting up an inch and then down again with your breath. You should feel this in your glute. And draw the knee down again on an exhale. Lift the left leg. Bend the leg and the knee. Sole of the foot towards the sky and up an inch and then down an inch. Keeping those hips level. Can't ignore those glutes. Another few times here. Excellent. Draw it back down. Great. And then separate the knees. Draw the hips to the heels into child's pose. If you want to roll onto your back and hug your knees, you can do that too. Take the forehead down to the mat. Now that we've done so much warming and moving around and stirring things up, see if you can notice the energy settling a little bit. Our third eye, the focal point. So what are we choosing to focus on? Roll out that third eye, just roll the forehead side to side and roll the spine side to side too. Let's focus again, coming to stillness, just noticing the sensations in the body that are great. And then notice the ones that need a little help, maybe sensations that aren't as pleasant, if they exist there right now. Exhale. Now back to the good stuff. And then back to the stuff that may be a little bit less than comfortable. And then bring it all into the middle with your next inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Come up through cat pose. Spend a moment briefly in a knee plank here, just reminding ourselves of those strong arms, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, elbows in towards the ribs. Hold it. Come up. If you want to do full plank, you guys can do that too. But if you do that, come back to knee plank, and we're just going to snake our spine down, bending the elbows towards the ribs, snaking down to the mat. And then we're going to roll over onto the recline position again. Move the blanket aside. Ease yourself down on the back. Let's grab the block for our core bridge work. Again, drape the arms next to the body. See if you can reach those heels with your hand, with your fingertips. Skull to sacrum alignment. Maybe you feel a warmth coursing all the way from the crown of the head down the legs from our movement. Pressing into your arms, or actually, let's take the block and place it between the thighs as we go up. So let's take the arms, press the full length of your arms into the mat, and notice the shoulders will roll down towards the mat, the sternum lifts, and then you can tuck the tailbone and reach up towards the sky. Full, beautiful bridge here as you press through the feet, all the four corners of the feet. Feel the legs activate as you squeeze that block. Or if you don't have a block, imagine it there. Lifting those hip bones, feeling that arc of the spine, so beautiful. Take the elbows into the mat, press the elbows in to the mat with the fingertips up. Feel that lift of your sternum, the capacity of breath. Exhale, if you can reach for that block and take the hands around the block and press the palms into the block, you really notice the wake up on the shoulders. Stay strong through the legs as you lift that block and press it up above the head on the floor. And then back again, trace that line above the head. Great. And keep the hips lifted as you place that block between the thighs again. Arms come back to the elbows in, lifting the fingertips towards the sky. And then drape the arms next to you, holding onto that block, snake that spine back down, each millimeter at a time, noticing each vertebra as you go down, down, down. Sacrum plants itself on the mat. You can feel the lift of the lumbar curve. Inhale, exhale, reach for that block. Place it over to the side and roll onto your right side. We'll take a rolling twist here as we take the palms together. And we're going to trace a line with our left fingertips, long arm up towards the sky, open up across the collarbones, fingertips to fingertips. Look up at the sky. Inhale, exhale. Bring your gaze over the left fingertips. Drop the shoulders, just as they were melting earlier towards the earth in our fish pose. Allow them to drop as well, those shoulder sockets. Notice your breath. And then trace that line back, palms together. On our way over, we're going to come onto the back, take the soles of the feet together, open the knees out to the side. Baddha Konasana, so we're just Supta Baddha Konasana. We're just opening up the palms to the sky, drawing that energy of the feet together, and maybe rocking side to side, knees to knee, towards the floor. And then bring those knees together, draw them together, and roll over onto the left side, palms together. Right fingertips, draw that beautiful rainbow up and over. Really inhale, length into your arms and fingertips. Exhale, shoulder sockets towards the floor. Softly gaze over your right fingertips. luxury of a twist. Inhale, line back up into that rainbow. Right arm comes over, palms meet. Then we roll over onto our back. Find that bottom of the mat. If you want to elevate your legs up on a chair, you can do that. Or you can just drape the legs out, right leg, left leg, flop the feet out. Notice the release. That's the capacity to release is better now, has more capacity. The more we let in and refresh and renew, the more we can release. Arms out to the side, palms to the sky, receive whatever you want to receive. Close the eyes. Coming back inward through the breath, inward into our 3-part breath, belly, ribs, shoulders, and collarbone. Exhale, collarbones drop, chest and belly. Again, pace that breath. This is where we really do unlock the alchemy of yoga, is by matching our breath and our movement, finding harmony there. And the brain itself responds. You find the chemistry to make connections where they were not before, even just 50 minutes ago. Have you opened some possibilities? Notice the difference. Come back to the visualization of a positive being, a positive place. Notice the effect this has on the muscles of your face. Inhale, invite in that extra feeling of positivity through the body. See if that inner smile can translate to your muscles, to your joints. Carry that inner smile with you off the mat. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the elbows and the knees. Inhale. Exhale, roll onto your right side. Find your way up to a seated position, matching your movement and your breath. Sweep the arms up towards the sky, palms together, trace that line inward, down past the face, down to the heart. Thank you so much for joining me in the practice today. Namaste.